I really feel like defensive coordinators have kind of passed offensive coordinators as far as how to control a game, and
I
that's why
agree.
we're seeing less Patrick Mahomes 400-yard games. We're seeing quarterbacks throw for less yards than we ever have, and I think it's because defensive coordinators have just gotten smarter.
They'll make it known they're a better team, but they're not going to put up 45 points on you to
Right.
your 20. So that has me a little bit concerned about this bet. Not them winning, but just that this could be like a 2-point game where they get the ball back, bleed the clock out, and then they win, but they don't cover.
I just don't think that they can afford to lose a divisional game. This line is at -5.5, but it could easily be -6.5 to me. First and Cam, back live again, week 3 of the NFL. We are taking you through our week 3 NFL bets. I have 3 of my picks that I think are locks for this weekend. Evan, you have 3 picks that you think are locks for this weekend. We're going to keep track and keep tally of our wins and losses throughout the season. This will be our first NFL betting show. If we're right or wrong, tell us in the comments. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we will have more of these picks for you. Just a quick note on NFL bets. Teams favored above 4 are 12-0 this season. I thought that was an interesting stat. And favorites on the road are 10-2 this season. So you have Jake Browning in, Joe Burrow out, and you have Carson Wentz in, JJ McCarthy out, and Jaden Daniels possible scratch for Washington coming up on Sunday as well.
With him. My first best bet that I like a lot, and this one's going to sting because I'm a big Rams fan, but Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are a 3.5-point favorite. I'm taking the Eagles
I like
to
that one.
cover. This is going to be kind of a junkyard dog fight. The Eagles, for whatever reason, don't tend to separate in games. They just they'll beat you and they'll make it known they're a better team, but they're not going to put up 45 points on you to
Right.
your 20. So that has me a little bit concerned about this bet. Not them winning, but just that this could be like a 2-point game where they get the ball back, bleed the clock out, and then they win, but they don't cover. I don't look at the Rams. The Rams are, if I could think of a college equivalent, I will tell you. But they're going to beat the teams they should beat this year and lose to the teams they should lose to. And the Eagles are a better football team, a better roster. I think Matt Stafford's back is a little interesting, so hopefully the pass rush can stay off him a little bit. But I like the Eagles to cover a lot. I think they have the much better roster. And this line, I think if it was up at 5.5, I'd be a little more skeptical. But at 3.5, I'll take it.
So I think that the spreads for the Eagles games are going to be a lot closer than what the rosters would say.
Mhm.
And I think that has a lot to do with the way that Jalen Hurts has thrown the ball this year. He's not
Sure.
really throwing the ball down the field. They're bleeding out the clock. These games are a lot shorter. Time of possessions on their hands. We'll see what happens with the tush push this game. I know I got a lot of heat last week against the Chiefs running it 7 different times. It's looking like that play is probably going to be outlawed next season, but that's next season. So I don't
Mhm.
know if the Eagles decide to just, hey, go all in and run that every single short down and distance play. If so, then I could see the time of possession leaning even harder on the Eagles. My thing is that if Matt Stafford's back is fully healthy, Kyron Williams is fully healthy. I mean, we're talking about a matchup from the playoffs from a season ago where the Eagles kind of ran all over the Rams. Can the Rams kind of turn that around and do that to Philadelphia? Obviously, Philadelphia's defense is, their highlight of their team, but I mean, if they're going to play the time of possession game, the Rams have to control it because I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to beat you down the field. If he beats you on a couple of shots that he takes 1 or 2 times a game, then I guess so be it. But his passing chart, if you look at it over the past couple of weeks, even as of last year, it's not anything past 10 yards, and it's
Mhm.
really all outside. And the Rams are always going to have a good defense. Rams always have good athletes on defense. I wonder if they really challenge Jalen Hurts to put the ball in the middle because I really feel like defensive coordinators have kind of passed offensive coordinators as far as how to control a game, and
I
that's why
agree.
we're seeing less Patrick Mahomes 400-yard game. So we're seeing quarterbacks throw for less yards than we ever have, and I think it's because defensive coordinators have just gotten smarter. And we'll see if they force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball in the middle because I think that's the ultimate goal for any team trying to beat Philadelphia this year.
Well, I think it's a question of like he hasn't or he can't, and he just hasn't yet, and he hasn't had to. They've
Right.
got plenty of guys that can catch the ball and stretch the field. They just haven't had to do it yet this year. And maybe the Rams are going to be the team that can stuff the box, stop the run a little bit, control Saquon. and then they have to put the ball in the air. And to me, that's another recipe for like you only need one play, one or two plays for that to really like open up the game. And I think the Rams can score with the Eagles. I just think the Eagles can get a few more stops than the Rams can. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game ended up being in the mid 20s or even
Yeah.
lower 30s, like a 35-31 kind of game. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all because the Rams can score with just about anybody. I do think when it gets tight, the Eagles can get what they need on the ground, which the Rams Kyron Williams, he's a great back. Probably not going to get the same production that we were hoping he would get or he had last year. I don't see the Rams pulling away. And if it's close, I just like the Eagles in all the different ways that they can attack you. They haven't had to throw the football yet. And I think this is the game where we might see Jalen Hurts go for, 250 over the air and a couple over the top.